Still can't get past when you said they don't deserve to see the goods of last block when we were talking about you shirtless.
Oh, you haven't gotten over that yet? You're proud of me. You're going to be proud of me, fellas. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I do.
If you really pose shirtless for like a fitness magazine,
all I'm going to tell you is this. Like I said before, I lost 23 pounds. My rotator cuffs ain't torn no more, surgically repaired. I'm back in the gym. Just wait. Give me 6 weeks.
All right, 5 milligrams of creatine a day.
No, I ain't doing that.
Creatine's fine.
Oh, shit. I'm just saying you're going to be proud of me. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't know who I want to see shirtless less, you or Mark.
No, I ain't gonna be shirtless. I'm not stupid, but I'm not gonna be bad.
Okay. All right.
Leave it alone.
Justin Fields. I think
Justin Fields.
I think he's gonna play MVP level football. I have felt that since the DJ Moore trade happened. I don't think he's gonna be in the conversation because I still think the team will not be good enough.
Okay.
My reasoning's why. If we go back and watch Justin's performance, 17 touchdowns last year, throw in, he gets 1,000 yards rushing, 2,200 yards passing. Before the season, I said that was the worst place for anybody in the NFL to play quarterback was Chicago. It was a bottom 5 skill group support and is a bottom 5 offensive line. So Justin Fields played good in the worst situation possible. Fast forward to kind of the offseason. Number one, the addition of DJ Moore. So everyone's clear. DJ Moore, up until last season, had 3 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. 2 years ago, he averaged 18 yards per catch. So he gets a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. We've seen Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, what they do for that. So that will immediately get his play up. Number 2, they draft Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. So now the offensive line and sign Nate Davis from the Tennessee Titans. The offensive line, bottom 5 last year, I think it's got a chance to be top half in the NFL. And so immediately we're better on the skill position group and we're better on the offensive line. And then the third aspect is this. Luke Getsy, who's their play caller, runs the Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan offense. We have watched that offense take good quarterbacks and get them to produce like really good quarterbacks. We've watched it for years. This is his second year in this system. On average, when a quarterback plays in this system going into their second year, Marcus knows this because I've used this before. It's Kirk Cousins, it's Baker Mayfield, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, it's Matt Ryan. The average statistic performance of those guys, and I would say Justin's a more talented player than them physically, is 4,100 yards and 32 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's the average of year 2 in this system for guys like that. Now, it's not foolproof. It's not 100%. But Justin Fields and his physical talent, year 2 in this system with the upgrade, I don't think it's unrealistic to sit there and say, well, Justin Fields should account for 35-plus touchdowns and over 4,000 yards of offense. That is MVP caliber football.
It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to have you in studio. I love you to death. You know that, Dan Orlovsky.
Yes, sir.
But sometimes you get on my damn nerves. You really do, because what you try to do is you try to break stuff down in such a way that you know what, it's your job. It's your job. You do your job exceptionally well, which is why you got an 800% raise, and there's no excuse for you to be having your wife and coach, but that's a different subject for another day with your cheap self.
We flew Coach 2 weeks ago.
So you need to stop. You need to stop bragging about stuff like that. Seriously, man, I raised you better than
Hour and 50-minute flight.
It's ridiculous. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, that's like nothing.
No, stop it, Molly.
That's short.
Stop it, Molly.
Who cares?
You know what? You weren't flying, coach. I'm just not going to go there. I'm going to leave it alone. The point that I'm trying to make to you is this. You know good and damn well you don't have any business having this conversation about Justin Fields. Now, if we were in week 9, Swagoo, and Justin Fields was balling out and Chicago was competing for the NFC North crown, I get it. But in the preseason, coming off the worst record in football, where he threw for 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, you talking about all the problems with Chicago, okay? Yeah. It may not be his fault, but the pieces around you, if nothing else, are going to ensure we ain't thinking about you at some MVP level. Stop it. You got a situation, Jared Goff. Let me throw out that name because maybe you forgot him. I mean, he only plays for the team you used to play for. He only went the last half of the season with 15 touchdowns, not a single interception. Only threw one interception in his last 11 games last season. Okay, last time I checked, he's in the conference. Last time I checked, Kirk Cousins, who everybody bloviates about. I mean, damn, he's a star on the Netflix show. Okay, unbelievable that he's the star, but that's just the greatness of the man is right there. We get all of that, okay? And then you've got a situation where, okay, not only do you have that, but it's one of those situations where Jordan Love is now succeeding Aaron Rodgers, but the team around him is considered legit. So if Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit are standing in your way, and that's a minimum of 6 games, and you're still the Chicago Bears looking at a last place status, right? Okay, no, we're not going to look at Justin Fields and blame him and say it's his fault. We're going to recognize the fact that even with DJ Moore and Clay Chase Poole and all these, we're going to understand they don't have the requisite weapons. I'm not saying we're going to look at him like he's some scrub, but we're certainly not going to be thinking about him as some damn MVP caliber player. Stop that.
Why not?
Stop it. Because they're going to be in last place. They're going to be losing. And the pieces around them ain't going to be producing well enough for us to look at him that way. Orlovsky.
All right, so the 2021 season, I'll ask Marcus this question.
You know, I'm going to invade NFL Live. I'm going to invade that show at one point in time this year. I'm going to roll a Bristol one day. Just roll up on the set and deal with the dribble you be spewing to the American public sometimes.
2021 season, Deshaun Watson's in Houston. Who led the NFL in passing that year?
He did.
Deshaun Watson. What was their record?
I don't remember.
Okay, exactly, because they were terrible. But everyone talks in regards to Deshaun Watson and says, if he can get back to playing the way he did his last year in Houston, that's MVP level football.
He's also somebody that took them to the playoffs too. He was in the playoffs.
But that's not your point.
Yeah, before that,
come on, man.
That's not your. You're saying the Bears are going to be bad. I'm not disputing that.
Okay.
I mean, look, bro. Let's start it. Let's just jump it off. We back. Let's stop being so light and easy with putting this tag on people, dude. Like, I get it. And we saw Justin Fields dynamic with his legs. First of all, he got to, like, Luke Gessie is a really good OC, but I don't know if Eberflus is going to let him throw the ball all around the yard in order to be in the MVP conversation. We just don't know that yet. He may from a head coaching position change his philosophy, but I don't know that yet. And then when we talk about MVP level, bro, we got Lamar, we got Joe, we got Pat, we got Herbert, we got Josh Allen. Like, though, if you think he's gonna be at that level, I agree with you. But that's hard to say coming off of what he came off last year, bro. Like, the MVP level of the entire NFL, and even with Jalen Hurts last year at MVP level, dude, that is like crazy good, bro. That is elite level quarterback play. If you think he's gonna be that, all is fair. But I'm not ready to attach MVP level football with Justin Fields after all of those guys I just mentioned, bro.
All right. So a couple things. Number one, I would argue, Marcus, this is the best the NFL has been, top to bottom, parity and depth-wise, in 30 years. It's the best in my life, as far as quarterback play as well, right? The NFL has never had this many high-end quarterback play. How much high-end quarterback play? So we can't live in this world where only 3 or 4 quarterbacks could be put into that conversation of playing MVP caliber football. It's realistic. It's not unrealistic for us to sit here and say there are 10 to 12 quarterbacks minimum this year that could play MVP caliber football. We know that award is going to be given to the quarterback that plays one of the best for the best team. But that doesn't mean that other guys aren't playing to that level of football. That is my point. It's not unrealistic to sit here and say
all right. So Dan, you think that Justin Fields is going to be mentioned with Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert,
Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
You think he's going to be in that combo?
I think he's got the chance to. I'll ask you this. Geno Smith's year last year. Do you think Geno Smith's year last year, performance-wise, was worthy of being in the MVP conversation?
That is not a fair question.
Yes.
Look at the team he had with him. Look at the coach he had with him. You can't do that.
What do you
mean? You can't listen. You started
No
off
one
your
predicted
conversation.
that.
That
was a total rebound.
And you don't think that year is worthy
On him, Molly. Nobody
It wasn't in the
legitimacy
conversation.
of the Seattle Seahawks as a team. We wondered what Geno was going to do, but we knew he had the personnel around him and the coach around him.
Stephen A., that's a bold-faced lie. The only person that thought that the Seahawks were going to be good last year was Louis Riddick. None of us thought they were going to be good.
No, you didn't.
Wait just a second.
You didn't.
Hold on one second. First of all, we did not. Geno Smith played great, got a new contract. We never talked about Geno Smith being the MVP of the NFL. He played great. Kirk Cousins played great. We never talked about him being in the MVP conversation.
That's wrong.
Bro, Jared Goff played great. We never talked about Jared Goff. When we start associating MVP level football to quarterbacks, they gotta be outperforming everybody by a wide margin.
Marcus, you got to stop thinking that.
They do.
There's too many good players at that position in the league. We can't think there's only 3 or 4 in the conversation anymore. Marcus,
I don't think it's 3 or 4 in the conversation.
You're saying there's
I think 3 or 4 separate themselves from everybody else. And I don't think he will be a part of that.
Yeah. But there's plenty of quarterbacks that could lead their team to a Super Bowl.
Quarterbacks.
There's more parity.
You got to go. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.